Hey, good evening. How the heck are you folks? It's good to see you. Good evening to OD&D fans, AD&D fans, and all you dirty, dirty, basic D&D fans. I am your happy, humble, hairy host, Bill Sylvie. Hello, good evening. It's good to see you. Let's get started. Let's jump right into it. Let me tell you something. First of all, a little bit of channel news, because I do that. That's what I do. We are currently sitting at 946 subs. 946, and it's all thanks to you guys. You know why. You know what we're doing. You know why this is important. 1,000 subs equals the GUOC, Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. And I just got another volunteer to DM any of you guys into a little role-playing game called Dungeon Crawl Classics. You like that? Would you like to play some at the con? Help make the con happen. Because somebody stepped up and said, oh yeah, you get this thing going, I'm going to run some DCC. So I was very happy to hear that. So thank you to that person who stepped up. You will see that. You will find out who that is at the appropriate time. Now, if you missed last night's live stream, you missed probably the high watermark in terms of intellectual grown-up discussion I've had on this channel. Because we had the Dungeon Minister on. He has a great channel. Please go check out the Dungeon Minister's channel on YouTube. But the Dungeon Minister was in the house, and we talked at length about alignment, about faith, about spirituality in the realms of tabletop role-playing games that feature alignment, at least with regard to Dungeons and Dragons. And it was, like I said, it's probably one of the better talks, discussions, panels we've had. And to be sure, you can talk about alignment anywhere on the internet, but it almost always devolves into, yeah, well, a paladin in 1930s Germany would have to be or all the members of this real world political party are chaotic evil, but all the members of the party I favor are lawful good. It wasn't like that. It was really a great discussion. And if you missed it, go watch it. Not right now. Watch this stream and then watch us play some Gamma World later, live stream. But go see it. It is really, really, really worth your time. The man shares some fantastic insights, and it was an absolute gas to have him on the show. And he'll be back. He will be back. We must have talked probably for another half an hour, just hitting on little things and talking about different ideas about games and gaming and so on and etc. And I said, you know what? We got the makings for another get you in here and talk to you type thing. So that was a lot of fun last night. And we thank the Dungeon Minister for being here and for being part of the madness. It was good fun. It was good fun. So how are you guys doing? I've had kind of a meh day, the low light. I know some of you had asked this. A lot of you guys had been keeping tabs about my dog Zeus. And I was hoping I would take him down today and they'd say, oh, his eye's all better because it looks better to me. And, it's not disgusting and crusty and there's a weeping sore on it and anything. And they would say, oh, he's fine. Yay. No, he still has a problem. And it was very depressing. It was not the morning that I wanted to have after an extremely difficult night with him. You take a 75-pound lab, put him in a plastic cone, and then tell him he can't go somewhere in the house from midnight to 4:30 in the morning. Bonk, 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 scrape, scrape, bonk, 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 shove, bonk, 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 bonk for 4 hours straight. And then when you finally lose your temper at about 3 in the morning and yell at him, he acts like you beat him with a with a stick. So yeah, that was my yesterday into this morning. Yeah, I am too. So we're on the next regimen of medications for his eye. And if those don't work, I get to take him to a specialist, and God knows what that's going to cost me. But anyway, here's hoping that this is the final bout this week. But let's move on to more interesting stuff. News. I actually have news. There's role-playing game industry news I want to share with you guys. Hasbro has appointed new leadership for Wizards of the Coast. I found it deliciously ironic that the woman's last name is Williams, because the last time someone was in control of Dungeons and Dragons with the name of Williams, things ended so well. So well. But hey, that Williams didn't have any conception of the history of Dungeons and Dragons or anything, did she? I'm sure this Williams. Oh, what's that? Oh, I am extremely proud of the great successes of Wizards of the Coast and the IP we've created to attract top talent. Is oh Jesus. Oh no. Anyway, so Cynthia W. Williams is now president of Wizards of the Coast in digital gaming, and Tim Fields has been appointed senior VP, general manager of digital gaming, both effective on the 21st. So I guess Monday, you're going to be sitting in new offices. So yes, she actually did say, joining the team whose passion and imagination created such iconic games as Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. Cynthia, you ignorant slut. Nobody at Wizards created Dungeons and Dragons. There is no one alive at Wizards of the Coast who had anything to do with the creation of Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons was created by Ernest Gary Gygax about 2,000 miles away as the crow flies in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin in 1974. Boy, I can't wait to see what they do for the 50th anniversary of D&D. Can you? Yeah, drink one for me, Lord Corian. And she will lead the strategy for two of the biggest names in gaming, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. She doesn't even know that Wizards didn't create it. I have shoes older than this woman, much less Dungeons and Dragons being older than her. Oh, let's see. Who is this Fields? Oh, right. Yeah. As a lifelong gamer, has been playing Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering since I was a child. I am. Oh my God! Could you find a more boilerplate statement? ever could you find I think, like, if you hit, like, Control, Alt, Shift, caret F8, it will generate this paragraph, and you can just fill in the company names. As a lifelong blank who has blank, blank, and blank since I was a child, I am thrilled to be joining the blank family to develop the next generation of blank. We'll just spit out of Microsoft Word, and you can just fill stuff in and then hand it to the press as a statement. Short squeeze. It may be, passerby. That may be just it, a short squeeze. But anyway, it's interesting you bring that up, because on the next tip, the next bit of news floating around, and let me make one thing perfectly clear. The disdain that I have for Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast is not directed at gamers. Look, you got to understand something. Fans of 5th edition, fans of 4th edition, 3E, neckbeards, 2E, romantic fantasy gamers, AD&D and OD&D grognards. When you start hearing the faint strains of Pink Floyd's Money and the fade in and out overlaid montage of cash registers and stacks going through bill counters and the NASDAQ and the Wall Street light bulb ticker thing going across, when that happens, we're all in the same boat. I don't care what you play. Because if, on a nat 20, they convert the game over to something even worse lifestyle brand than it is now. Or Korea. That is great. That's going up. So nothing good happens. All right. Nothing good happens. If it's good for them, it's bad for us as hobbyists. And that's the truth. The richest companies in the world might not be the ones, or rather the companies with the most passion and love for what they do might not be the richest ones. And we might laugh at Palladium Games and just cover our mouths in shocked horror at how badly Kevin Simbea acts and bungles things. At the end of the day, he cares enough about his fans and his game to retain control of everything all the way through. So just keep that in mind. If you're out there playing 5th edition and looking at guys like me saying, "Get with the times, Grandpa," because we all going to be in the same boat when D&D gets lifestyled and the game part of D&D gets perma-shelved and it's turned into something that is just completely unpalatable. That won't be something you want to evolve to. You will be the grognard. You will be the stick in the mud. You will be the enemy of fun. And the guys like me are going to be telling guys like you, "I told you so." To that end, let's talk about the other piece of news. The other piece of D&D news. Hasbro facing battle from investor group trying to force Dungeons and Dragons unit spinoff. That's right. Hasbro. Now I'm going to read this whole thing because this is very interesting to me. So you guys are going to have to bear with me. Hasbro is facing investor upheaval. At the center of the battle is a rogue investor group, Dungeons and Dragons, and what some claim is an underperforming stock price. The Wall Street Journal is reporting on Wednesday night that a little known activist investor is seeking to add several directors to Hasbro Inc.'s board and is urging the toy maker to make changes, including a spin off of its fast growing unit housing games such as Dungeons and Dragons. Alta Fox Capital Management LLC, which has a 2.5% stake in Hasbro worth roughly $325 million, has nominated 5 directors to its board in a letter to be according to a letter viewed by the Wall Street Journal that will be sent to the company's shareholders. Shareholders will vote on director nominees at Hasbro's annual meeting this spring. Dungeons and Dragons is a part of Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming unit within Hasbro. Alta wants the entire unit spun off from Hasbro, according to a spokesperson of the firm. According to the Wall Street Journal, Alta Fox, which says in the letter it has spoken to Hasbro, noted that the company's stock price is lower than it was 5 years ago and has significantly trailed the broader market. What broader market? Role-playing games. There's one. You might hate this. You might just be here because occasionally I talk about Traveler or Call of Cthulhu or Hero System or Star Trek or whatever, and be one of those people who never liked Dungeons and Dragons and thought that its presence in tabletop gaming was bad. But you got to realize there's D&D and there's everything else. D&D is 80% of the tabletop gaming market. Okay. 80%. Whatever you like, Vampire, Call of Cthulhu, Hero System, Twilight 2000, Pathfinder. I remember when 4th edition dropped and Pathfinder fans were crowing about what an impact they were making. Pathfinder had like 3.4% of 4E's sales as far as a player base. But whatever you're part of, you are a percentage of a minority. You're not even a majority minority because everything is fragmented. Now, you might try to say there's a plurality. You'd be wrong. But you might say, yeah, but all of us put together, but you know what the divisions on lines of what games people like. I mean, I'm sure there's a half dozen gaming groups spread out over the globe who play the West End Games Ghostbusters RPG and have had like a Ghostbusters campaign going for decades, you know, since the game was released in the late 1980s, and are just like, you know, just their whole world is that. And D&D is some weirdo minority, but that doesn't alter the fact. So, you know, for what are they trailing behind according to Alta Fox? How could they be trailing behind another tabletop game? Games Workshop, maybe? But that's a completely different kettle of fish. I mean, that's like comparing apples to granite rocks. It's just it's not even two types of fruit, like apples and oranges. But let's go on. Alta Fox does not enjoy playing the role of an activist, but if management teams or boards attempt to take advantage of minority shareholders for their own benefit, we have an obligation to our own LPs and are prepared to take a stand. Hasbro issued a response on Wednesday night. The following is the company's statement. Hasbro today confirmed that Alta Fox has submitted a letter nominating 5 candidates to stand for election to the Hasbro Board of Directors at the company's 2022 annual meeting of shareholders. Hasbro engages in regular communication with its shareholders and welcomes constructive input to further the best interests of all shareholders. The company's board of directors and management team are focused on maximizing value for shareholders and achieving that objective by capitalizing on all elements of Hasbro's brand blueprint across 3 segments: consumer products, Wizards of the Coast, and digital gaming and entertainment. I mean, that's 4, but, I guess they'll issue an errata for it. The board and management team believe Hasbro is on the right path to deliver sustainable growth for shareholders and consistent with its shareholder value creation plans, regularly review the business and its strategic direction. To that end, and members of the board and management team have held discussions with Alta Fox to better understand its views on the company's strategy. The board and the Nominating Governance and Social Responsibility Committee of the board will evaluate the notice of nominations and the nominees as it would submissions made by other shareholders. Man, this is word soup. The board's recommendation with respect to the nominees to be elected at the upcoming meeting will be included in its proxy statement for the 2022 annual meeting. Hasbro notes that it has a highly qualified, independent, experienced, and engaged board. The board has a long history of engagement and good corporate governance, including the recent separation of the chair and CEO positions, ensuring that the board maintains strong racial and gender diversity. And there we have it. Racial and gender diversity among its members. Rich Stoddart will assume the role of independent chair on February 25th with the appointment of Chris Cox to the role of CEO and director. Cox was appointed the CEO of Hasbro effective February 25th and currently serves as president and chief operating officer of Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming division. Will join the board as its 11th director. Cox's extensive omni-channel experience, demonstrated ability to create and nurture winning brands, and proven track record make him uniquely positioned, and positioning the Cox, to accelerate Hasbro's brand blueprint for supercharged growth while continuing to deliver strong shareholder returns. Hasbro shareholders are not required to take action at this time. The board and the board's Nominating Governance and Social Responsibility Committee will review the proposed director nominees and present its recommendation regarding director candidates in the company's proxy statement and accompanying white proxy card, which will be filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Proxy materials will be mailed to all shareholders eligible to vote at the company's 2022 annual meeting. The date of the annual meeting has not yet been announced. This story was updated with Hasbro's response, blah, 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 blah. So there you have it, folks. You have 2 news stories within Hasbro, reshuffling chairs. I don't know who this person is. I mean, this isn't. These people aren't even peripherally. Can you imagine? Like your lifelong dream is to do something Dungeons and Dragons related, and you're literally just relegated to being a stooge in a cubicle, and you've got this wedding cake of awfulness stacked above you. I think the real interesting thing is this person coming after, uh, Wizards of the Coast, trying to get them sold off. That's real interesting. Now, I don't finance much, but that smells a lot like corporate raid to me. But what do you guys think? You tell me. Leave a comment down below or discuss it over in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. So that's the news. That's the news. Now I'm going to talk about, now I'm going to editorialize a little bit here. I'm going to editorialize a little bit here, and I want to get something over that I haven't this has been brewing and stewing for a while now, and I haven't really, I don't think I've completely articulated my feelings on it. Yeah, I posted about this on Facebook a little bit, but I want to I want to completely get across my thoughts about the Lord of the Rings uh TV show that Amazon is foisting on us. Now, the short story, and I'm sure you guys know this, is I hate the concept of it, and I am to say I am underwhelmed by the trailer would be a gross understatement. Um, when I was a kid, in November of 1978, well after Lord of the Rings had become a phenomena among, the hippie college set, um, I saw The Hobbit and I loved it. And my one of my aunts, who also read and loved Tolkien, gave me a set of, well, first she lent me a copy of The Hobbit, which I kept, and I loved it. Then I got my hands on The Lord of the Rings. She lent me a boxed set of The Lord of the Rings, which, if you've been around as long as I have, you remember that set from the 70s. It was like the gold foil, very, very nice box set. I still have it somewhere. So from, the age 8 onward, I have read and I have loved The Lord of the Rings. All of it, every aspect of it. I've enjoyed it thoroughly and completely. I was pretty skeptical about Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films. And the further away from them I get, the less I like them, the more diminished in my rearview mirror they become. But you have to appreciate that one of the things that Peter Jackson discussed was, he said, we had to honor the books and we had to set aside the one thing, we set aside any modern considerations and we just focused on making the best presentation of Tolkien that we could make. That's not a direct quote, but there we are. And I think they did the best they could. I mean, if they set out to make an exact word to word copy or word to film copy of Lord of the Rings, the return or the Fellowship of the Ring would still be going on. Like, you would have gone into the theaters in 2000 and you'd still be watching it today. they did the best that they could under the circumstances. The Lord of the Rings means something to me. It was a place I could go. I lived in a dismal, dingy little town in Gadsden. It was, well, in Alabama, called Gadsden. Immersing myself in The Hobbit in the fall of 1978, and then The Lord of the Rings after that. It it was so impactful. And I remember I was sitting there, I was reading one of the books. It's probably the it would have been the Two Towers. And we actually had from the local small college a young man selling uh fact books. They weren't not full sets of encyclopedias, just two large volumes like condensed encyclopedias. And we ended up buying a couple. He was a good salesman. But when we were sitting there, uh, he asked, I remember, he asked me, he said, do you understand what you're reading? And I said, yeah, it's the Lord of the Rings. I love it. It's great. It comes after The Hobbit. And he just kind of laughed and he told my mom, he said, there's college students who can't get their heads around the Lord of the Rings. A point of pride on my part when I was a kid. And I've made it a point nearly every year. And now I slacked a couple of years here recently, but nearly every year to reread The Lord of the Rings. I love it that much. It has a deep meaning for me. Yes, I read the Silmarillion. Yes, Kyle, if you're out there, yes, I have read the Silmarillion. And I love the Silmarillion also. So Jackson's Lord of the Rings, and look, The Hobbit was awful. Peter Jackson's The Hobbit was awful. But at least the framework of J.R.R. Tolkien was there. Now, I mentioned this on Facebook today, and I want to reiterate this. I don't think anyone watching this stream, listening to the stream, whatever, isn't aware of how horrible a human being Harvey Weinstein is. And him going to prison was really what he justly deserved. More. He deserved more harsh sentence than what he got. When Peter Jackson pitched The Lord of the Rings to various, like I think it was Sony he went to, and they said, we'll give you a 130-minute movie. And they were like, why not just pick it up with an opening narration that covers the first half of the book? And then we can jump straight into the action at Helm's Deep, kind of like a Saving Private Ryan kind of thing, but fantasy. And he was like, it's clear they didn't get it. And then the second studio was just like, oh, we got to make sure we're having, we're just jumping from fight scene to fight scene. And it was clear they didn't get it. When he went to the Weinsteins, they had copies of The Lord of the Rings that both of them had read, both of them had annotated, sticky notes poking out through the pages, and a separate notebook full of notes, and said, how are we going to get that vision? How are we going to make a good set of movies, a good trilogy out of these? And Peter Jackson said it was clear they got it. When you're as awful a person as Harvey Weinstein, and yet you can wrap your head around the importance of cleaving to the intricacies of J.R.R. Tolkien's work, what does that make someone who deliberately won't do that? There are much better YouTube videos out there that have dissected down to seconds everything wrong with just the 1-minute trailer that Amazon put out for the Age of the Rings or whatever the fuck they're calling it. And no, it's not about sexism. It's not about racism. It's not about, I'm afraid of people of color being. The Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth was created by J.R.R. Tolkien as a set of Anglo-Saxon myths. You get it? Do you get it? It was about the creation of a set of Anglo-Saxon myths. Galadriel is not a badass girl power figure. I mean, Galadriel's power was in her absolute serene strength. The only time she talked about letting it slip was if she took the One Ring from Frodo and she passed that test. He offered her Sauron's ring, the one ring to rule them all, and she resisted it. And what has Amazon turned her into? A sassy, brash battle leader with a never say die funky attitude. Nobody asked for this. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't spout lies on my show. Jeff Bezos asked for this. Do you know what he said? Do you know what his exact statement was? I want a Game of Thrones for Amazon. And so the pilot of the Dick spaceship himself, that human dildo with ears, poured $1 billion into creating something that, honestly, as far as texture and detail, Bethesda, on their comparatively tiny budget, beat with their live action trailer for Skyrim back in 2010. So don't come to me on social media, on Facebook, and say, "Oh, come on, Bill, man, give it a chance. It looks awesome. This could be really good. What is it? You don't like you don't like people of color. Is it a strong? But God damn it! Don't you dare!" I grew up with The Lord of the Rings. Jeff Bezos was probably swindling kids out of their lunch money. And just perfect timing. The people coming out of the woodwork to defend this are absolutely of the don't ask question, consume product, then wait for new product crowd with the usual statements. You don't like people of colors. You're a misogynist. You're one of those Gamergator types. So I'm really starting to get worked up, as you might be able to tell. But I just want to point something out. If you have a Chrome or Chromium and even some other engines website web browsers, you can download an extension that will unmask dislikes. Right now, the official Amazon trailer is sitting at something like 82,000 likes and 79,000 dislikes. That is a hard ratio. And it's not Russian bots. It's not alt-right trolls. It's not Proud Boys. It's people like me who've watched Jeff Bezos stroll forward, claiming he was wearing white robes, but they're multicolored and shifting. No, you know what? No, I take that back. Comparing Jeff Bezos to Saruman is far too complimentary to Jeff Bezos. His brand of awfulness doesn't even fit into an analogous mode of comparison for the legendarum that is the Lord of the Rings. He's just a greedy, grasping asshole who's doing everything in his power to turn prime rib into a lunchable. And I despise him for it. Yes, him himself, him. I can't blame cameramen for wanting jobs. I can't blame digital artists for wanting to work. But I can blame him and his little coterie up at the top. They had an actual Tolkien scholar on that project, and they fired him and locked him down under an NDA. And the woman that they brought in, by the way, a few days after the trailer dropped, and she stumbled around throwing the racist accusation at critics, locked down her Twitter. Before she did that, some people had a look at this Tolkien scholar. And one of the arguments she made about, oh, you must accept all of this is right here in The Hobbit. Tolkien says Gollum was darker than the darkest shadow. You stupid bint. Tolkien was referring to Gollum's attitude. How can this woman claim to be anything other than some squeeing fangirl? You know, she's young enough. I bet if you went and dug around in the LiveJournal archives, you'd probably find some pretty awful fanfic about Legolas and Aragorn written by her. But that's it. Have I clarified? If you're one of the folks out there who was saying, "Oh, come on, Bill, man, give it a chance. You're just an old neckbeard grognard, man. You just got to open your mind. You got to see if it's any good." I'll say this: the YouTuber known as Just Some Guy, and I agree with some of his opinions. Some of his opinions I don't agree with. He's a braver man than I. He's like, I'll give it one episode. I'm not even going to give it one episode. I won't sully my internet connection by streaming that shit into my house. Well, Croyan said, then make your own fantasy instead of ruining two. Exactly. You know, if diehard Tolkien fans who have the same attitude that I do, but are willing to watch this thing, watch a few episodes, and they come back and say, no, actually, Bill, it really does it justice. And they've adjusted things and they've heard the fans and, they're going to make some changes. Um, that's great. Good for them. I mean, good for Amazon when I say good for them. On the bright side, imagine how much of his fortune will be wasted. The activists won't watch it more than once max. Unfortunately, I mean, Jeff Bezos is worth what, $138 billion? I mean, if I have $138 to my name, which is actually more than I have to my name, and I lose a dollar, that's bad for me. If I have $138 billion and I lose $1 billion, that's one less bigger than an aircraft carrier sized yacht than I can buy, you know? So I bet, you know what? I'll look at something here. Nope, still 946 subscribers. That didn't cost me anybody. But guys, I'm just, the Lord of the Rings means something to, I don't mind. Look, Tolkien sold the film rights to the Lord of the Rings for $100,000 to clear up a tax debt that he had. Well, 100,000 pounds, which at the time was probably close to like $250,000, which at that time, I mean, that would be the equivalent of like a few $1,000,000 today. So he did okay. He did okay for the time. But the point is, Tolkien from the outset knew that there would be a film, but many times when people would say, well, what if we did this? His responses were inevitably negative when it strayed. Like, he heard that the Beatles wanted to make a Lord of the Rings movie and was absolutely aghast. Like, that drove him into fits of despair. And I can imagine. But I don't, I mean, I don't kid myself into thinking that there's a that there's a um some fountain of creativity that pours out, and we never have, we money doesn't pollute things. I'm not that foolish. All right. I know that money's out there and I know that money changes things, and I know that stuff gets bought and sold and commoditized all the time. Some of the earliest things floating around from TSR are business statements by Gary, and he talks about, he doesn't talk about D&D and Greyhawk and Mordenkainen and Swords. He talks about the money and how awesome it is that they're making money. I get it. But why, oh God, why did they have to spoil The Lord of the Rings? Did they have to ruin Tolkien's work? Could they not have made something of their own? The shadow cannot create new things. it can only twist and corrupt. So that's where I am with that. Mobius says, the older I get, the more of my favorite things that they ruin. Yep. Yep. Evil can't create, it can only destroy. Absolutely right. So I want to end on well, when I say end, I mean just kind of the BSing portion. Someone was kind enough to find something for me last night, and I can't believe I overlooked it. I used to be a regular. I've really weaned off of it over Knights and Names, which is an AD&D forum. They're capital G grognards, and I admit, as well, I'm not like, oh, those guys are terrible. That's not what I'm saying. Those guys are actually awesome, most of them. I have very little time these days, but it's show prep and honeydews and that sort of thing. But we were talking about surprise last night. You know what? I think I'm going to do a little short video next week. I'm going to start doing shorter videos, and I'm just going to talk about AD&D surprise because I finally had my eyes open about how surprise worked. So in AD&D, if there's a chance for surprise, 2 6-sided dice are rolled. On a 1 or a 2 for either side, that side is surprised. Now, if only one side is surprised, they are surprised for 1 or 2 rounds. Right? But then there's a table that talks about the surprise dice difference and how many rounds sides might be surprised for. And it all just kind of came together. If you're not on the Discord, if you're not on the Discord, I will share the link now. Here, let me invite link. If you're not on the Discord, go join us on the Discord. Surprise segments, not rounds, only 6 seconds per surprise set. Yes, but for purposes of melee, for purposes of striking blows, I say rounds. I use them interchangeably when we're talking about that. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a video and just kind of dive into it. But we had a really good discussion, and I think I finally, and I'll explain it, and you don't need the addict. I'll even get into edge cases for surprise. Rangers and elves in leather armor and so on and etc. Not for every monster that has weird surprise amounts, but for this, I'll go into just basic, simple surprise. If that's something you guys would like, let me know in the comments. I'm going to do it. But if that's the kind of thing you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to include that. So speaking of including, I want to take a minute here because you guys have been seeing scrolling across the bottom there. You can support us on Patreon. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what that's all about, we have a Patreon that you can support. But if you don't want to do the Patreon, listen, that's fine. I get it. I totally understand. Getting people to click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications, getting us to 1,000 subs so we can have the great underground online gaming convention, that is all that is are just as important. I said almost as important. That is just as important. But we do have some Patreons. And if you want to join for as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel. That's all the sales pitch. I want to thank the following folks for being Patreons and supporting the channel. So Digital Discord, Joshua Gorlak, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Joseph Lucas, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien X247, James F. Keck, William Smith, the Dungeon Minister, and Manny Wall. Thank you all so very much for supporting the channel through Patreon. It is very helpful. Every little bit helps, guys, and you're awesome. And thank you so much for supporting. So what we are about to do now, act now and you get maximum nerdery for free. Absolutely. Is we're going to kick off here in just a few minutes our Friday night Gamma World game. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what all this is about, like let's say you joined on Wednesday, Thursday, or today, you signed up, you subscribed, and you're like, what do you mean we're going to play Gamma World? We're going to live stream a little Gamma World game here. 2 nights a week, we live stream classic role-playing games. Tuesday night is currently first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. I won Dungeons & Dragons, and it was advanced. And Friday nights, that's tonight, that's happening, that's real. Friday nights, of course, we play first edition Gamma World. Oh, you missed the BS session. I said dirty words, Dungeon Minister. You didn't miss much. I was old man shakes fist at cloud, so don't worry about it. Whereas cheap suckers can do something without all the commitment of Patreon. 54 more to get there. Tell a friend. Absolutely. I don't know. I mean, if anybody ever wants to make like a one-time donation to the show, you can you can PayPal me, bsylvia@gmail.com. You know, all is appreciated. All is appreciated. But don't do what you're not comfortable doing or what would put you in a bad position. Right now, folks who come in and say, you know, hey, I got 5 people to sign up for your show, and subscribe on YouTube. That's worth its weight in gold. And since electrons don't have any weight, well, I'm kidding. Let's go over here. Well, we're not going to go anywhere, but let's get some Gamma World going, shall we? I'm putting on the official game mastering headphones. And we're waiting on folks to file into the game room, donning their ceremonial gaming robes. We have James Keck coming down from his observatory in Hawaii. Greetings, James.
Aloha.
Welcome to everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Greetings.
Good evening.
Greetings.
Good evening, everyone.
Greetings, fellas.
So if you're out there watching, and let's see, did I get everyone? I think I got everyone. We're waiting, of course, on... what are we waiting on? Oh, we didn't need to know that, James. You didn't need to tell us that.
Sorry.
That's kind of...
I mean, he's a
it's
raccoon,
not okay.
so...
It's not okay. All right, so I think we're still short a couple of folks, aren't we? Or is this it?
Yeah, I think we normally have at least 6 players.
Yeah. Who's missing?
We're missing Barongo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's late for work or doing some work or something, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
okay, that's him. Wasn't sure.
All right.
I almost didn't make it because of work.
Well, we're glad you did. Hey, there he is.
Ah,
Oh, you made it? Cool.
All right. So we're going to
Thing
go
with
ahead
Windows.
we're going to go ahead and get started now. To bring everyone back up to speed, the party has departed their village, gathered around Outpost 76 on the edges of the radioactive wastelands because their food shipments from the distant village of Goodwater have not arrived, and the radiation storms promise to be particularly bad this season and will make growing and planting for that duration impossible. So they've sent out their bravest warriors to try and find out what has held up the shipments. On their journeys, they have found strange and dangerous and mystifying creatures and locations, met some fellow adventurers in a similar situation to them, and have discovered a building of the ancients. And upon entering it, they were attacked by a strange metal beast deep within the bowels of the complex, which is where we return now. Standing before you is the burned out hulk of the security machine. And you're all, well, lots of you are fairly dinged up having fought this thing. So what then are your plans?
Am I still unconscious? Stunned? Whatever?
We will say that enough time has passed that you are not.
Okay.
Is there anything salvageable from this robot? Maybe.
What are you looking for?
Weapons, energy for Bren's Smith and Wesson, maybe.
Okay.
It's got any cells?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing, let's take a gander. We'll roll on some charts because we like charts.
Are they pie charts?
No, there are more than 3.14 entries on the chart. So.
Oh.
Okay. Who is doing the searching, please?
Yeah. Mo.
Mo, okay. So, Mo, what is your constitution?
My con is 13.
13, okay. Okay, well, you go over and there's kind of a plate of dully gleaming metal that is hanging back, and you think, oh, there might be some kind of light source or energy source. There's a faint blue glow radiating out as you're searching, and you sort of move that panel back, and you suddenly feel very nauseous and very weak. You take a radiation intensity 8 damage. Oof. And you jerk your hands back, and you've got white blisters raised on them, and your fingers are a little bit swollen up now, and
ouchie.
Yeah.
I look for the symbol on my shield on the robot.
What was the symbol on your shield?
It's the triangle with the platform with the weird wavy.
No, it
Okay.
is not. It is not on the robot.
Okay.
So you, yes, you don't feel well. Is anyone else investigating the robot at the same time?
I'll go ahead and investigate it.
Oh, okay. What is your constitution?
Not good.
Oh.
13.
13. Well, that's not bad. You too take 8 points of radiation damage.
Woohoo! Radiation Club.
Yeah. No mutation.
So close to the mutation mark.
Yes, it really is. Like, what's that strange ticking sound? And why do I taste metal?
Note to self: don't
Yeah.
touch glowy thing.
8.9. Not great, not terrible. So,
Well,
nobody's gonna.
let's leave that alone.
Yeah.
Does he have anything at the end of his arms, tentacles, whatever, that might be used as a weapon?
You think unless it's killing someone with super cancer by chasing them around with a piece of radiated metal, probably not.
Which it definitely is, but yeah, okay.
In this case, no. It's
Okay.
Yes, but more accurately, no.
All right. I'm going to get frustrated with the thing, slam one of them monitors on it, and walk away from it.
Okay. You do
Probably
so,
the
and
one I already hit it with.
it bursts. There's a smashing, shattering sound, and there's glass shards go everywhere. But
Now, shall we go find food? Hopefully.
And maybe
Yeah.
some healing.
Yes, that too.
A light source would be good.
yeah, the only light source you guys have right now is that distressing blue glow radiating
I was
from
about to
around.
say, there's a blue glow on the
Yeah.
robot. Just
We
take it.
should probably
Well,
get out of here.
You take it with you.
Can we drag it behind us on a sled, like with a rope?
Let's not. Let's not. Let's get out
Do
of
I
here.
still have some of those oil-soaked rags?
Yeah, you've got some of the sticky tar-like substance from the
Fresh torch.
Well, let's take some of the rags that I took off that dead guy and make another torch out of it.
All right, well done.
So we want to go outside and go down the hallway, or what do you guys think we should do?
Well, we're not accomplishing very much in here, are we?
No.
I figure we should at least check out the rest of this floor before we go down the elevator. Because there's still more below us.
What's an elevator?
Or
The
down the
shaft
shaft.
with the
Shut your
strange
mouth.
black vine in the middle.
The oily, strange black vine.
That's right.
That's
If we-
flammable.
If we
You know
listen,
it well.
if we listen, do we hear any more whirring or buzzing or weird noises like this thing made?
No.
That wasn't a very convincing no.
Yeah. It's like you don't think so, but you're kind of nuts. Yeah. I guess let's check the rest of the level as much as we can, anyway.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So you walk down the hall. There's fine layer of dust on everything. You occasionally pass small, round, they're about the size of a water barrel, or about half the size of a water barrel, and they have that same snaky connection between wheels on them, but they're kind of lying over against walls and not really moving. They have a layer of dust that shows that they haven't been disturbed. You occasionally see stuff like that. High up on the walls, you see boxes, and the boxes look like they have bug eyes that are staring out, but they don't blink or follow you or anything like that. There's another one of those tall metal boxes along the wall that has the basin in it and a little spot that recesses when you push it with your finger. And as you're approaching now, you can see by torchlight just faintly in the distance what looks like some kind of intersection. On your right-hand side, there is a box it's perhaps 1.5 meters tall, 1 meter wide, There's a row of tiles up one side of it. And very faintly, by the dim glow of your torch, you see brightly colored, arranged in rows and lines, objects of some kind in there.
Gerg will go and sniff at the box.
All right. It just smells like dust.
Ugh.
I'm gonna press a tile.
Achoo.
Anybody got any Domars? I'm feeling kind of hungry.
Does it look like there's a way inside this box?
Well, yes, actually. At the bottom, there is a panel sort of hanging loosely that looks just big enough to fit your arm into.
How about my body as a raccoon?
You think you could stuff your way in there?
Is the front
Well,
made of glass?
Yeah, you've heard of glass, but you've never seen glass this clear. This is clear even with the dust on it, like water in it in a calmly moving stream. But yeah, it does appear at least to be made of glass. Now, as far as getting your raccoon body in there, you think if you twist and contort and shove yourself just so, roll a d20 versus your dexterity.
Ooh, a big 4.
A bit. Oh yeah. You slip right in and you fall.
okay.
You fall into some kind of metallic box that's only a little bit bigger than your body, and
Okay.
the little door is sort of swinging back and forth above you. Is anyone else doing anything while this is going on?
I'm gonna press the top tile.
I'm gonna try to hold the door because this is a raccoon trap.
I'm keeping an eye on the other end of the hall.
Okay.
Like the other end of the G.
So, Manny, Oscar pushes a button. There's a whirring sound from within the thing.
Oh boy.
Suddenly, brighter than even the glass panels you had seen in the previous room and in the lobby, light pours out of this thing, and you see a little dance of blue lights across a spot just above the button.
Does Gerg see anything inside the slot that he's in? Any of the light or anything? Or where I could look inside?
There's an almost exactly Gerg-sized curving tunnel that goes in and straight up, and light is shining out of it.
I guess I'll try to climb up into that.
Alrighty. Roll a d20. Tell me what your dex is.
14 on my dex, and I rolled an 11.
Yeah, it takes some doing, but you're able to wedge yourself up through there, and now you're inside, and around you are rows of objects that they look like they're made of leaves that have been pressed closely together, and you don't even have to roll it. There's a pungent, sweet aroma here with just a kind of a rancid hint to it.
Hmm.
Can we see him?
Oh yeah.
Do I see them?
I'm gonna tap. Be
Is
like,
this a
"Hey,
machine of
you."
Is this a machine of ho-hos of the ancients?
Those of the ancients.
Maybe, perhaps.
They're probably still good if it is.
Gerg will look out the window at the others, see what they're doing.
Okay. They're whatever they say they're doing. They're
okay.
I want the Oreos. No.
I guess I'll turn around and check out some of these brightly colored packages, leaves.
Yeah, you think it's writing on them, but you can't. If it's writing and not just fancy designs, it's so stylized that you can't make it out. Some of it is very tiny print. Some of it is large, bold splashes of color. There's square objects. There's thin, papery-looking objects. There's dully gleaming red, white, and blue metallic cylinders. that are like almost as big around as your torso.
Wow.
So many different ones.
Those are the potions Steve was talking about.
I'll start pulling some of these things off the where they're hanging and chuck them through that hole
Okay.
that I came out of.
All right. It takes a little finagling, but yeah. So you, Oscar, whatever you did, it's paying off, or it's probably Gerg, because the space that he crawled into and then up into the machine out of is rapidly filling up with these objects.
Foodstuffs
grab one
from the
at random.
gods.
From Gerg.
If any of them are like pink and they have fuzz on them, I'm definitely going to destroy those.
Not a fan of snowballs, are you?
Not one bit.
Yeah.
I don't
come
want to
on.
have my character doesn't need to suffer like I did.
The only ones whose contents are visible, the contents are a universal brown, blue, greenish mold color,
Ugh.
and those are
Leaves.
puffy.
Gerg leaves those on the shelf.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab one of the packages he throws down. Look at it
Okay.
at random.
All right. You've got a bright colored. It feels like it's made of some stiff parchment, and it's it crackles in your grasp when you pick it up.
Neat.
It feels like there are many objects inside.
Well, then I'll try to open it.
Okay. What's your dex?
Do 15.
Okay, you poke it and prod it, and eventually you tear it down the side, and most of them go scattering across the floor. But
Nice.
you've got a few in your hands. They're brightly colored objects, maybe half the size of a domar. There's kind of a sickly sweet odor to them, and they have kind of a faint chalkiness about the surface of them.
I'm gonna try to tell if they're edible. I'll taste it.
He licks it.
Yeah, I lick it.
There's a faint sweetness to it that sort of grows into kind of a tangy flavor, but it's not mind-blowing. It's not, it doesn't change everything you think about the world you live in or anything like that.
Is it edible? Is it poisonous?
No.
Well, you didn't die from licking it. Do you want to do you want to go for broke and
The real question
let's do it. No.
Is it hallucinogenic yet?
Ooh.
I should have made a chart for this. Candy machine missability table.
Crunchy time.
Let's see.
The brown gooey ones in the packages I left on the shelf might be hallucinogenic.
Okay, so you pop this thing in your mouth, and as I said, it does. Well, after a few seconds, your mouth begins to kind of fill with a sharper and sharper fruit flavor, but you can't put your finger on what it tastes like exactly. And then there's a foaming. Your mouth is filling up with foam that is sizzling and foaming. I'm sorry, what?
Did I just catch rabies from a cookie?
I don't know, but
Raccoon gave it to me.
the rest of you look at Oscar, and unless you're doing something to prevent it, Oscar, you have a reddish orange foam that is pouring out of your lips down your chin.
Should maybe spit that out.
Somebody give me some water.
Are they making a noise?
Yeah, it's kind of a fizzing, sort of a sizzling sound.
And it feels tingly?
Yes.
You guys, it's cool.
Mentos from the ancients.
All right, what is Gerg doing inside?
He's watching the foam drip down his skin. He's just like, "Blah."
This seems like a good party trick.
He turns around and looks at the shelves and sees if there's anything else that he can pilfer.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's you've thrown down 5, and of the ones that look intact that like don't just like crumble to dust when you pick them up, there's let's see. We'll let the dice tell us. You've thrown down 5, and there are 5 more. 2 of them are the cylinders, and the other 3 are various packages.
Throw down the cylinders, Gerg.
I go to the cylinders and try to dislodge those.
Yeah, the cylinders they're about 60 millimeters in diameter and about maybe twice that long. They have some kind of mechanism on one end that is flush to them, with faint lines, circles, and you can't make it all out. But yeah, you lob out a couple more, and then you've got the rest of the packages, and you can send those flying. So you guys have a total of 10 items out of this strange cabinet.
Okay. Can I get back out easily?
Your dex is a 16?
14.
14. All right, you make it out of the larger part of the cabinet into the smaller part of the cabinet.
Okay. I'll crawl out through the other if someone's holding the door for me.
All right. Well, you gotta suck your little raccoon gut in and wiggle out, but yeah, you make it out.
Okay. We'll go over and start sniffing around some of the packages that we're pulling out now.
Okay.
Want to try some of these?
He kind of shakes his head and backs away.
Yeah, Oscar turns around.
Oh,
You want to try some of these? So going around the table, then, what is Bubbles doing? Does Bubbles trying anything?
He is there looking around for anything that smells or potentially could taste like fruit.
There are quite a few things. There's a package that's maybe 100 millimeters long and 10 millimeters on a side. It's square. It's made of a translucent paper of some kind that smells faintly of bananas.
Ooh.
He will definitely tear into that without a moment's hesitation.
Okay. Frustratingly, the ancients were truly inscrutable because it's wrapped, but each little piece inside is also wrapped.
Mm.
And even by the torchlight, and incidentally, after you all are going through your bounty here, the light flickers off in the cabinet. So you're once again just by the torchlight. I think it's time we rolled for a wandering encounter here.
Oh boy.
No, nothing comes looking for you.
How many scraps of cloth do I have, just so I know? So, I mean, just so it's not infinitum. Oh yeah, just another piece of cloth.
I will say you've got 3 more after the one you got going now. So
Bubbles is going to keep working those wrappers until he can get that banana smell.
okay.
In the dark.
So
He hasn't noticed the light's gone out.
the little yellowish square is as hard as a shard of bone, but it is like the most amazing banana flavor you have ever tasted ever. It is like banana, but it is nothing like banana.
Guys, bananas. You eat some bananas. They're small, and he'll hold the bag out for anybody else who wants some ancient banana.
Run will share in the banana.
It's a banana now and later.
I'd like to put a pack of whatever Oscar was eating in my pocket
Okay.
for later.
Sure. And then you have that's 5 packets, and you have 5 cylinders.
Okay.
The cylinders are heavy. You could brain somebody with one of these cylinders, but you can, when you move them around, you feel a faint gurgle or slosh.
Oh,
What
I
color
could
are
put
they?
these in my sling.
damn. I thought they were.
I want to
50-year-old.
investigate one of the cylinders. Is there a way to find out what's inside?
As before, most of the writing on the outside is so stylized you can't make it out. There are some letters you can make out. As far as what might be in the cylinder, there is, on one end of it, flush to the end, there is a raised, and it seems separate and attached with a rivet or by brazing or something. You've seen armor made this way in the past in your village, that holds a piece about the size of a finger joint on, and it's in the shape of a figure 8.
Pick at it.
Okay. After a few minutes, you're able to get it. You're able to get your nail under it, and it's spring tension, so it pops back down as soon as you stop. As soon as you stop picking at it, but eventually,
It's a
when you
musical
pull on it,
instrument.
you notice that it causes, right next to it, a spot on this end to crush inward slightly. There's a very, very, very faint hiss of released air, and a sugary sweetness reaches your nose as you're examining this.
What? They're still good?
Nice.
Carbonation?
Oh, just air pressure.
What sorcery is this?
It's
Yeah.
botulism. It's
Right.
Go ahead, drink it.
I just want to point out, just if I can interject this real quickly, as a college football fan, and particularly in the southeastern United States, we get commemorative Cokes for our teams when they do great deeds. The most recent ones I have is a set of national championship Coke cans from 1992. We were away on vacation 11 years ago when one decided to open itself.
Nice.
Ooh.
And they were only 20 years old at the time. Now they're 30 years old. I back then would not have opened them at gunpoint.
I've got a 30-year-old can of Iron Brew in the other room.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, when I say this hisses slightly, I don't mean it's like, psst. It's like,
yeah.
so,
It's regulation of air. That's it.
yes, Luther, I am an Alabama fan. Roll Tide.
I'm going to take a
Absolutely.
chance and lick it to see if it's edible. You know,
Okay.
the night and taste.
Let's see.
Or if it's
What is your
poisonous.
constitution?
13.
He's dead.
Dies instantly.
What intensity is the
are
poison?
mildly poisoned for the next 7 turns. That's 70 minutes. And you barely resist the urge to vomit
Ooh.
the minute
Can I
this
just
touches
vomit?
your lips. You're just going to vomit. You're just going to do it anyway.
Hey, get rid of that stuff. It's definitely bad for you.
Please be a
Foamy,
fart. Please
pink
be a fart.
vomit. Just
Hey, it might taste better than the beverage.
Yeah.
So mildly poisoned. Does that do damage?
I'm going to say that any melee attacks you're going to do are going to be at a penalty.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this thing down the hallway.
Okay. It lands the way you came or the way you're going.
The way we came.
Okay. You hear it land in the darkness and kind of splotch, you know.
We should keep
But-
the rest for throwing.
Yes, you have 4 others. So
Doesn't make a better weapon than a drink.
okay.
I think they are weapons. Yeah.
They may very well be.
Botox grenades.
So
They swell.
away from the way we were coming, what do we see door wise?
So you have a few more doors. Let's say 3 doors on the left and 2 doors on the right before you come to the intersection, which you can now see is a 4-way intersection.
Are there any
3 doors
markings
down.
on the walls next to the doors, on the doors?
They're numbered cryptically. You don't know what they are. Large numbers
Right.
in the middle of the doors, like 6-2 and 6-1 and so on and etc.
No.
Go listen at a door, I think.
So there's 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
Yes, 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
We'll go up to the first door on the left.
6-1.
Is that the closest one to us?
Correct. That is
Try it.
actually 5-2 is the one on the left.
I'm going to try to open it.
Okay. The door does not open, but somewhere in the distance, you hear a very faint, like just 2 chimes. Bong, bong. It is very distant. You can't make out what it's saying.
From behind the door or down the hallway?
Somewhere else out down one of these hallways.
Oh, so it doesn't
Does
sound
it-
like it's okay.
Does it sound like the same tone of voice as that machine when it was speaking through the door?
Little bit, yeah.
Oh,
Good.
Lord.
Or you're going to
Bubbles.
creep to the intersection and kind of peek around the corners.
Yeah, Bubbles will snap to attention with hard candy bananas falling out of his mouth, and he'll go to the door too and start looking around.
Man, you just spit out banana now laters. Those are never going to be made again, ever.
He's coming back for him.
It's just
No,
a
they're
little
just all
dust.
stuck to his teeth like a hey.
250-year rule, guys.
Exactly. It's like the meme you've seen. It's the pink Himalayan salt, like 250 million-year-old pink Himalayan salt with an expiration date on it. Okay.
I guess
I love that it's pink Himalayan sea salt.
follow
anyway.
Berg, sort of, and try the next door on the way.
Okay. That door does open, but someone was looking around. Who was looking around the corner?
Gerg.
Berg.
Gerg.
Bubbles was
Way
there too.
off in the corner. You don't think it's moving. It's far enough away that if it's moving towards you, you can't tell. It's kind of giving you a vertigo sensation. You see a rapidly strobing yellow light. You're
Gurg
not
comes
sure.
scampering. He comes scampering back towards the group with the thought of danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yes.
Okay. So you open the door, and this room is a very morbid scene. It's covered with dust. There is a skeleton sort of heaped in a chair behind a metal desk. On the desk is what appears to be one of those devices with the rows of tiles and the glass box in front of it. But it's smaller. The cabinet is much lower slung. It seems a little bit more convenient and easier to move around. The skeleton that slumped in the chair is wearing the desiccated remnants of a some kind of cloak or jacket of some kind, a white tunic and a red sash around its neck. Most of the top of its head is missing.
Ooh.
I'm going to assume the thing with the tiles did that.
Lying on the table, there is it's covered with dust. There's a thick pad of parchment of some kind. You've never seen this much paper this neatly organized in one place before, or this much parchment, I should say. But there's words all over it in neat rows and letters. You can read them. They're large. Well, by torchlight, it's a little difficult, but
Okay.
What's it say?
The headline across the top says Boston, Atlanta Metropolitan Axis News. League of Free Men refuses to accede to demands, threatens war within days. And there's many columns. There's a color image of several grim-faced, important-looking people right in the middle. It looks like they're standing at a lectern or a pulpit of some kind, looking out at a group of people saying something of import. Let me see here. Is anyone actively searching the room, or are you guys just looking at the desk?
I want to see if there's any pockets in this skeleton's clothes, if it's got anything on it that looks interesting. Also, the condition of the clothes. I need some new clothes.
Okay. The clothes are very ratty. The upper collar of the outer jacket and the inner tunic are covered with a brown stain.
These clothes are no good.
In one of the pockets, you find a set of flat metallic plates with a jagged edge along one side. They are situated. Ooh. They are situated on a large metal ring. They make a very nice jangly sound.
Look, janglies.
Ooh.
If I get lost, I'll
anything on the floor by his feet.
Me.
On the floor by his feet, there is something that looks surprisingly a lot like Smith and Wesson.
I'll pick that up.
It is heavier, much heavier than Smith and Wesson.
Nice.
I'm
taking that key ring. Oh,
okay.
The jangly thing. The janglies. Sorry.
Also on the ground next to Smith and Wesson is a small. It's tarnished, almost green. About a 2 centimeter long and 1 centimeter diameter cylinder that is hollow.
Guess I'll pick that up too.
Okay.
Hollow cylinder, and
I'm gonna look around the room and see things.
There are faded pictures printed on paper in frames on the walls. Some of them have very, very, very elaborate writing that you cannot read. You can read some of the letters. Director is a word. You think you know what that word means. It's like a chieftain, a tribal leader. Oh, we lost Brun.
Oh, no.
Brun, are you with us? Can you hear us near you?
Playing with the key. I mean, the jingly thing. Huh?
Yeah, sorry, that's the dog.
All right. Well, hopefully Brun will be back.
Gerg is going to climb up on Oscar's shoulders and kind of shake him and project danger one more time.
And there is one other thing that you find in the pockets is a small leather pouch that is stuffed full of plaques of some kind.
Bren was looking in the pocket, so I guess he's gonna grab them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Brun decides to grab those. There's really not that much of interest in the room. You do notice when searching it, the same brown stain that covers the upper shoulders and of the jacket and the tunic is prevalent on the wall, the floor, and the ceiling behind this sad tableau in front of you.
What about the Similar Smith and Wesson thing I picked up.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah.
So, like, how much alike is this compared to the Smith and Wesson? Is it like just a little bit bigger? Is it?
It's
Longer?
really it's longer, it's heavier. The projection portion of it, the horizontal projection portion, is both taller and broader. It seems to be much more mechanical in nature. It seems to have more parts to it.
But the main handle kind of looks like Smith and
The
Wesson.
main handle kind of looks like Smith and Wesson, yeah.
So if I mimic that kind of whatever Brun was doing, not stand near my friends.
Well, you know what? I think let's
Get to
roll
the
some
charts.
dice. Back to the charts. Everybody's favorite part. The party found an artifact, and what are they going to do? All right, so give me I'm not on the page I need to be, but go ahead and roll a d10. I know more or less,
5.
5. Okay. Next to the part that you put your finger through, or you think you're supposed to put your finger through, there's a small button, and you push that, and there's a click, but nothing destructive happens.
I play again.
So
again.
So you're going to go again?
Yeah.
All right, roll a d10.
It's another 5.
Okay. There is, on the opposite side, there's a lever, and when you push it, the entire upper portion seems to fold into itself slightly with a loud metallic snap. Yes, I see you. Hey, he's back.
Hey.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It happens. So you have
Somehow made it smaller.
you have clicked a button on the side, and you pushed a lever on the side, and it snaps together about 1 inch. A sort of a tubular portion that was exposed on the very front of it is now hidden by the large metallic square that slides across the top it with a clack. It snaps. You want to try one more time?
I sure do.
Give me a dice roll.
8.
I'm gonna slowly back away from him.
Yeah, you try pushing the button and the lever again to see if you can affect something, but nothing happens.
All right. I don't know. I guess I'll put it in my backpack. Try again later.
Okay. Alrighty, so that's really all that's interesting in the room. Brun found a
Jingly bits.
jingly bits, but also a thin leather pouch that contained several squares that are similar to the one found on the skeleton out in the hall. This one is a different color. This one is blue. It has blue around its border. That one was yellow.
Ooh, blue and yellow.
Guys, Gerg's telling me there's something dangerous down the hallway.
Just peek out the door.
I'm looking for a
There-
cabinet to hide in.
Are there any doors in this room?
Just the one
other
you
than the
came
one
in.
we came in? Okay.
Other than the one you came in, there are drawers in this table on the same side of it as the body.
Have we rifled through those?
Good luck, Oscar.
There's just sheafs of paper with inscrutable things on them.
Has anyone looked through these drawers?
Not yet.
Let's do that real quick. Or are you just freaked out about the things that you saw down the hallway.
Well-
Very freaked out. Yeah.
Was it? You couldn't tell if it was actually coming our way, did you?
No, I just saw the light flashing and
Yeah.
freaked out from our last experience.
I'm gonna peek out and see if I can see any kind of light.
Looking down the hall, you do. There are strobing yellow lights of some kind far down at the end of the hall. They are not getting any closer.
Okay.
Cool. What's in the drawers?
Just papers with inscrutable things written on them.
Don't care about inscrutable papers.
Yes.
Have we thoroughly searched this room, do you think?
Pretty much.
Let's go back to you guys want to go to the hallway and look in some of these other doors before we get to the intersection?
Another one.
Another one.
Then we can also tell if that thing is getting closer or not.
Right.
He said it wasn't, so fingers crossed.
Well, it wasn't then.
Hey, didn't you say one of the doors wouldn't open before
I
the
did
the
say one of the
first
doors.
one on the
opened.
left.
That is correct.
Were there any anything about the door, any place to control the door?
I mean, there
Any
was
holes, any
there was
control
a-
panels?
there was a lever, and it's got a, like all the other doors, it's got a metal plate below the lever.
Does it have any holes in it?
It is not.
No.
Throw the jangly thing at it.
Yeah.
Is there another door that will open for us?
Let's try 'em all, screw it.
I mean, are there buttons and stuff around the door, or is it
Any slots? Any holes?
Just plain?
anything? I got these
there-
things I want to try.
There are not. No.
Okay.
Bet you Smith and Wesson could open it.
I don't want to
Why
waste
don't you-
charges on a door.
Well, I mean, we've already made a lot of noise, right? We could try to kick it in.
Yeah. Oh,
Does it
that's
open
true.
in or out? Can we tell by looking
It
at
it opens inward away from you.
Oh, that's
What's
perfect.
it made of? Is it made of wood or particle
You
board or
don't
duralloy?
know. It's
It's made of door.
made of door. It's
Is
made
it
of
hollow?
door.
Hardest
Is it
substance
solid?
known to RPGs.
It's solid. It is.
Is
solid.
it,
I
is
bang-
it metal?
If
Is
I
it
bang my club on
metal
it,
or
does it
wood?
make a metal sound? Yeah.
If you bang your club on it, it makes a kind of metallic noise.
All right.
I'm gonna go stand on the back end of the wall that's opposite the door. I'm gonna rush at it and I'm gonna kick it right underneath the lever as hard as I can.
Oh,
Awesome. Okay, so finally, what our audience has been waiting for: combat. Now, granted, it's combat against an innocent door who did you no harm.
Well, not yet.
Oh yeah. I mean, the evening is still young.
I
See,
sense
guys, this is what you don't get on Critical
broken
Role.
toes.
People attacking doors and critically injuring themselves as a result. I challenge you to find gripping role play like this there. Let's see. I know what I'm going to treat it. So you're melee attacking it. Go ahead and give me a D20 roll.
All right. 7.
7. Okay. Yeah. You.
I missed.
And that's strobe light.
You missed the door.
You slipped.
You
Well,
got caught on the handle.
how many hit dice do you have?
Well, I have 51 hit points.
Constitution.
Yeah. What
I
is
have-
your constitution?
Well, but I got a mutation that gives me additional. I have a 9 Constitution.
A 9 constitution. Okay. And you rolled a what?
I rolled a 7.
You rolled a 7.
Yep.
Yeah, the door thud, thump,
Did it feel like it moved at all?
not in the least.
So yeah, okay. I'm like, wow, that's solid.
Maybe Oscar could try. He's the
I mean, I am the biggest.
9-foot guy in the room.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
All right, your con.
Gerg jumps off his shoulder and goes to the intersection and peeks around the corner again just to be safe.
Con is 13.
Oh wow. Okay, so give me a D20 roll.
10.
A 10. Let's see.
And that is on the orange one.
That is on the orange one.
Okay.
It doesn't open, but you definitely felt it kind of spring in slightly. It doesn't make a ding, though.
So there's
No,
a
I said it
chance.
doesn't.
So there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. What if we both rush it? He'll kick high.
I
I'll
can
kick
rush
low.
using him in front of me. Like,
I mean, yeah, you guys at your total number of hit dice exceeds 15, so roll a d20. One of you roll it.
Okay.
I have an orange one.
Yeah, go ahead. My fate is in your hands.
15.
15. Okay.
Nice.
The yellow lights descend.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the Walmart cleanup pot.
We will treat that. Which, by the way, if you see one in your Walmart, absolutely do not surround it with boxes and containers and make a little prison for it and watch it roll in circles. Don't do that.
They will get
Valued
mad at you.
viewers, don't do that.
He says this for legal purposes.
I say this for legal purposes. I will stop telling people to abuse their robots when they start paying me for being a cashier. How about that? Okay, so we'll treat that way. Yeah, it gives way a little bit. You hear something creak and snap, and it moves in and stays in a good maybe 20 millimeters.
Can we see through the edge?
It's dark.
There's a gap though.
Guys, it's dark.
It's not metal on metal. There's a gap.
There is a gap. That is correct.
Axe. Ooh, ka.
Well, I mean, are you going to axe it open?
Axe it to open.
Axe it to open.
I'm not
Okay.
going to axe nicely.
What is your strength? Let me ask you that.
Physical strength?
Yes, physical strength.
Not very good. It's 10.
It's 10.
That's average.
All right, you put your back into it, and we'll just go with the old D&D. Can he open a door roll? And look at that. You can. There's a loud popping sound of ancient rivets giving way, and the door kind of falls inward. This room that you can see, there is a large table dominating the middle of it. It's long. It's not as big as the first room that you entered, but it is fairly large. There are very, very elaborate chairs on either side of this table. Off to the left of the chairs, towards the far end of the room, is a lectern or pulpit of some kind. In the middle of the table is a box about the size of one of the boxes that you had encountered before that had the glass panel on top of it, but it has no glass panel. It is pointing up at a slight angle, and at the far end of the room is a blank section of wall.
We need this lectern and chairs for the outpost.
I think Steve said food.
Food, lectern.
All right, so what do you do?
Come back for the lecture.
Uninterested. Across the
Any other
hallway,
door?
check the first door.
No other doors in this room?
No, there are no other doors in this room.
Let's try another door in the hallway.
First door across the hallway.
First door across the hallway opens without any effort.
Getting
It's very strange. It's dark. The floor and the walls are covered with stone tiles. Along one wall to the right are a number of dusty but still identifiably white basins with reflective glass over each one. And on the left-hand side are a series of doors that are hanging in frames that are maybe 30 centimeters off the actual floor. The doors don't go all the way to the floor, nor all the way to the ceiling. And there are
Open.
4 of those.
One by one. Kick them open.
Kick them open.
With the
The
Smith
first-
and West on.
Yeah.
First, I guess look underneath the 3-inch partition from underneath all the doors.
A lady screams and kicks you in the face. No.
No, you don't see anything under there except looking under there. You can see centered in the rear and exactly in the middle of the wall some kind of bowl or basin or something.
All right. Well, I still say we open them all and take a look. Are they all empty, or anybody?
They are all empty. On the right hand wall of each of them are metal boxes of some kind, of some shiny metal.
They wouldn't be empty if this is a video game.
A box of bullets, a skeleton, a monster. Yeah, you know.
Muffin Bills.
No case on the wall on the way out with a big red cross on it.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's not
Okay.
Fallout.
All right, let's get out of here.
Next door.
Is there water in the basins?
No.
What if we mess with the levers?
I didn't
Is
say
there
there were
levers?
levers. I did
Is
not
there,
say
I
there
put
were
my
levers.
hands under. No, nothing.
No, nothing.
Put the
Okay,
hands in
damn
there.
it.
Next door down.
They're all the same. Oh, you mean next door
In the
down?
hallway.
It's similar to that, but in addition, against the opposite wall or rather the same wall on your immediate right when you go in the door, there are 4 basins that are fixed to the wall about 2 feet off of it, except for the furthest most, which is about a foot off of it.
We were in the ladies' room.
Yeah.
Otherwise, identical.
Okay. Oh, nothing here.
Check those basins for little cakes that are at the bottom of it.
Cakes.
Ah,
No,
Why?
It's peppermint. Oh god.
Here,
hey
Ross,
guys,
here,
check
look
it out. Free mint.
no.
Surely one of the better gags in the first Madagascar movie. Hey guys, look, free mint. No, there are no free mints here. Sorry.
Damn.
Okay, and that strobe light still hasn't moved.
The strobe light has not moved. No,
Okay, that's
How far down the hallway is the strobing light?
now.
many
No,
meters.
how far down? Many meters.
Many tens of meters.
Okay, I think we're good, guys.
Are there doors
Check this
between
out.
us and the strobing light?
There are not.
Any other passages? Does the hallway continue past the strobing light?
Didn't
You
you say
can't
there
tell
was another
because
intersection?
you're not down there.
Okay. Should we go check out the strobing light, guys?
Of course. We need to go check it out.
Danger.
We're going to
I mean,
check out
it-
the strobing light.
Does my ultravision show anything between us and them? The lights at
No.
all? So it's just stone or metal or whatever.
Yeah, stone,
Okay.
dust, similar fixtures to the hall you just came down, but no snack machine. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, let's go down there.
Checking it out.
Okay. When you
Making my
arrive,
way down the hall.
all right, a few meters away from it, there is a side passage that goes down just a few meters itself. And you can see by the light of your torch that the doors at the end of it open out into the well or the shaft, or not the same one, but similar to the one you just
Okay.
left. It has been forced open, and there is an iron bar laid on the floor holding those doors open. You are close enough that you can see where the yellow lights are flashing that a thick, very thick, heavy metal door has been a large circle, not quite as tall as Oscar, has been somehow through some terrible fire has been burned, and the door itself has been knocked through. And beyond that is a metal room of some kind.
Can I fit through that hole?
You'll have to duck and kind of turn sideways, but yes, everyone else can walk through it easily.
It's a square. It's a rectangle door.
It was. The opening is
Okay.
is
All right.
a rough oval now.
But the burn is circular. Okay.
Yeah, the burn is circular.
I'm gonna go in there and check it out.
Okay.
Touch that bar.
There are many, many, many cabinets holding cylinders that are some are as small as Gerg, some are half as tall as Oscar. They are all stored in cages of some metal mesh that's painted yellow, except one of them. And this, I should point out, the door and this metal cage have been cut recently enough that the metal is still gleaming bright.
Oh.
Droplets of molten metal, which you only see in areas where there was a blast or where weapons of the ancients, perhaps like Smith and Wesson, have been used. Some of the metal on the robot ran and wept like this when Smith and Wesson was used against it. And there's no heat coming from it, but it was fairly recently. And there is, as I said, there's a cage that has been burned open somehow. The door hangs slightly ajar. To judge by the other cages, this too held cylinders of some kind, and a plaque attached to this door reads X70 152 MM.
Is the cut about the same height as that robot that attacked us?
No.
Okay.
So that the cage that's been cut no longer has cylinders in it.
It no longer has cylinders. That is correct.
Did the other
Logically thinking, that must mean somebody wants these cylinders, so they must be of value. Are there any identifying marks on these cylinders?
Yeah, this is it the same number on the other cylinders?
No. The other cages have similar plaques that are they're yellow letters on a very dark green metal plaque, and they all seem to identify what's in, but the series of letters and numbers, they don't mean anything to you. However, you do see that some of them also indicate 152 mm. And when you start looking for that pattern, some of them say 155 mm. And those cylinders are shorter. Some of them say 207 mm and have fairly fat cylinders in them.
Any other X70 markings?
I'm sorry,
those,
there was
any other X70 markings with those MM numbers?
no.
No.
Are there any other storage boxes or cages besides these?
Nope.
No?
What color are they? They're yellowish.
The cages are yellowish. The cylinders themselves, they are They are all the same sort of greenish color, dark sort of pond slimy green color as the plates that probably identify what each of them is.
Okay.
Except right around where they begin to taper into a point, there are colored bands. Some of them have yellow bands. Some of them have 2 red bands.
I have a
Don't
card
tap
with
the
the
red
yellow
bands.
band. Can I use it to open up one of the yellow colored things?
Sure. Which one would you? Well, I mean, you can try it. You can try it. Let me say that.
Yeah, I want to try it. I want to try and open one of these things up with the card that I have that has the yellow rum.
Okay. You try it and nothing happens. I mean, there's nothing identifiable to move the card to it or anything like that.
So
Or-
these are
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they're standing upright. They're laying down.
Some
they
are
in a-
laying down. Some are standing upright.
The ones that are laying down, the part that doesn't have the point, what does it look like?
It is flat. There is a circle, and then there is a concentric circle in the middle of it.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Let's leave these alone.
It actually looks a bit, strangely enough, like the small corroded bronze cylinder that Brun found on the floor in the other room.
Nah.
Already that size?
And you
No,
said
but-
that was my cylinder, but you said it was empty, didn't you?
Yes, it is empty. These are,
They're 10 times the size.
yeah.
So like basically, I got a water bottle and
Okay.
These
I
are
want to
10
know
grams.
who's stealing these. And I want to go the other way.
Right?
that's
The
not
question
the
is, if they've stolen some, can you get the other way fast enough?
No.
Shoot one of the concentric circles with a bow.
We'll aim it down there.
No, I didn't do that. No.
We'll aim it down the shaft.
No. Fortunately, there's not any compression, so it'll just be Big Bang.
We
Yeah.
now have a new entrance.
Good way to take care of that robot.
That robot, all the robots in a few kilometers.
It depends on the colored bands. I don't think we can use these. I mean,
Yeah.
they're behind bars, right?
Right.
Yes.
We can reach in there, but we can't. They won't fit through.
Yeah.
No, you can't reach in there. The grids are small enough that you
Okay, they're
you can
tiny.
get your.
Okay.
You could maybe kind of force Gerg in, but he wouldn't be coming back out.
Yeah.
It
Not
would
a good
put quite
idea.
a strain on him,
Cheese grater.
and that would be
Oh.
great.
Hey.
I'm sorry. When it comes to these games, I have no filter.
I wonder what was in that one they took out. Oh well.
No
Mental
doors
note.
in here other than the one we came in.
Other than the one you came in, no.
All right.
What?
There's the shaft, or the back to the 4-way intersection where there's 3 other ways, or I guess this hallway continues past the strobing yellow light.
The hallway, no, the hallway does not continue past. Basically, the
ends.
hallway
Okay.
dead ends in the vault
I
door,
see.
and then
Okay.
there's a short passage with no doors on either side that goes to
The shaft, right?
an elevator shaft. Yes.
So
I
there's
wanna
the
grab
shaft and
that
there's.
iron bar on the way out.
Didn't you say the iron bar was holding this open?
The door's open, yeah.
It is. Yes.
It is.
Yeah. If you grab the iron bar, the doors might shut.
Oh.
Do we want to go up or down, or do we want to go back to the intersection?
Down.
We got to go down, yeah.
I want to look at the flashing lights. Where are they at? Are they on either side of this hole?
They're on either side of this hole.
They're
There's
in the ceiling. And-
2 near the floor and 2 near the ceiling.
How are they?
And I should
connected, or are they? How are they attached?
Just with bolts or screws, you're not sure. I would point out also that there is a noticeable lack of dust down here. Not that someone's been particularly clean, just that there's been a lot of traffic through here.
Okay.
We had to get those tanks out of here somehow.
I don't know. 155 is probably not a tank.
Battleship.
I mean, it could be.
I mean, what's a battleship?
Well, no,
That's
I
not
thought they
like
were
that.
those cylinder tanks. Like, I figured this is like compressed air.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All right. Well, how about Bubbles with his dexterous hands checks out that elevator or that shaft?
All right. Well, Bubbles will. I guess he'll sort of take a torch with him, go in there, and take a quick look down and see if it seems possible to shimmy down.
Okay. There's enough protrusions and such
Don't
that
get any of that goop on you.
yeah. There are enough protrusions and such that you think you can climb down. Now, this shaft is kind of interesting because it is much, much, much larger than the shaft you came down. And as you look through the door, the right-hand side of the shaft, well, the entire shaft, instead of just going down, angles to the right at like a 45-degree angle. And it does continue downward past this point.
Does it look like there's other doors down there?
You don't see it down there. It's maybe another 30 meters, so it's hard to tell. It's just at the edge of your light source, the torch you're holding. You think there might be some kind of opening down there. Yeah, maybe, possibly.
Do I hear any sounds of machines whirring? Like that robot thing?
You hear a faint mechanical noise, but it's a steady hum. It is not a clanking, whirring gear sort of sound. It's faint but steady hum, and it seems to be coming from down the shaft.
Well, hums are always a good sign, so he will start to crawl down.
Okay.
Avoiding the goop.
Climbing down is not that difficult, because just like, again, as you go in, there's a bit of a landing, and there are ladders off the landing that are recessed to where if something comes down, it's not going to hit the ladders. But while something is up out of the way, you can use the ladders to climb down.
All right. I will use the ladder to climb down.
All right. Anybody else going in there?
I think Brun's going to follow. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Just go in line.
Okay. The ladders end in very narrow stone stairs. They're made of that stone of the ancients that was formed by grinding stones and mixing them with a powder. You've heard of it from other villages. They've kind of started to regain that technology, but these are more precise than you've ever seen. Every step seems to be created with a mind to safety, because the forward 40 centimeters or 40 millimeters rather of every step are alternating black and yellow slashes.
Oh, that's a good sign.
And there are railings along either side of these stairs that you take down.
Well, he is going to go down. He's going to look for, a door somewhere, or maybe signage, or buttons or switches, because he likes those.
Okay. You actually pass a couple, and if you touch them, there is suddenly in the, say, 10 meters of stairway that you're standing in, suddenly bright lights spring on. It's the brightest you've seen it in here. It is brighter than daylight.
Nice.
You're all like, ah! blinking, and it takes you a moment, but just in the section of stairs that you're standing on, you all look over and there's Bubbles. I didn't do that.
I found the lights.
Suddenly dogs, yes. So you have this, you're standing on an illuminated section of stairs. There is an unilluminated section of stairs in front of you that ends in some sort of gantry or catwalk and takes a sharp right turn towards the middle of the giant elevator shaft.
And can I continue? So is the illuminated stairs the way that I came, or that goes in another direction?
The illuminated stairs are going down. The section past where you're at, it's still going down, but it's not illuminated.
I'm going to go down the illuminated section.
I'm not making myself clear. The stairs are 30 meters long.
Uh-huh.
In the middle of the second, shall we say, 10 meters, you flipped a switch, and that 10 meters, lights came on in it.
Oh, gotcha.
The final
Are there more
10 meters,
switches?
there are no lights on.
Okay. Then I will continue down to that final 10 meters then.
All right. There is the landing with a catwalk that turns sharply to the right.
Might as well take that.
Okay.
Nothing could be bad down here.
All right.
The ancients won't lead us astray.
There is a short flight of stairs that goes down. Is everyone else going along, or is everyone just standing
Yes.
back? 'Cause I
I'm
haven't heard
following.
from
Absolutely.
anyone.
Of course.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So Bubbles is on
No
point.
party
Kind of
split.
doing the color duty for the party. I got you. I just didn't want anyone to think that I was like, well, I'm over here playing with Yang, and you guys can chime in or not.
I'm gonna look for more switches on the way.
Yeah. They're just as innocuous looking as the one that Bubbles flipped.
I will flip everyone.
Some turn on lights. Some cause loud, continuous blasts of a horn of some kind until you
Nice.
shut them off, or you can leave them going if you want.
No, I'll shut the ones that
Okay.
are loud and annoying off.
All right. So Bubbles, you go down about 5 meters, and there's something interesting, something very interesting. There is a large metal door set into the floor at about a 45-degree angle.
Doors.
It is smaller, but in design, it resembles the door above you that was cut and knocked inwards. This one has a small cut on the right-hand side of it. The door is slightly ajar,
Okay.
and sitting on the floor in front of it are a number of boxes.
Ooh.
One of these boxes has some illumination on the front, which is like strobing and twinkling. Hanging from this collection of boxes are a series of brightly colored vines or threads or ropes, very small, very fine ones that seem to snake into the door, into the slightly ajar part of the door.
They don't seem alive, do they?
They do not seem alive. I will also point out that the door, you recognize the words in that same yellow paint that was stenciled on the room of cylinders above are the words core access bypass valve 4. There is a black circle with a yellow circle in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Radiating out from the yellow circle at 3 separate angles
Mm-hmm.
are yellow triangles.
Hmm.
I
What could go
assume
wrong in
someone's
this
at least
place?
seen that symbol before.
Yes, that is an ancient symbol that denotes radiation.
He will turn back to the group and say, I think I found radiation. And then he will walk away and say, there are boxes with vine-looking things. I didn't see fruit. And then he'll just stare uncomfortably at everyone else.
I'm trying to understand the 45-degree thing. The door is 45 degrees.
Yeah, like if you picture like a cellar, you know, how an outside cellar door is against the side of a house. It's like
Yes.
that, but it is.
It's 45 degrees outward at the bottom.
Yes,
Okay, I got it.
leaning back.
Okay.
Can we peer through it? Can we see anything beyond it?
Just a faint red light. Without opening it, yeah, just like a faint red light seeping out.
Try and open the door.
What's your strength? Your physical strength.
It is 9.
Okay, it takes you a couple of tries, but you heave it open. There is a kind of a metallic shriek, creak sound, and stretching from the boxes again are going down. There's a flight of 3 stairs, and then it seems to the passageway seems to go forward.
Should we check it out? Should we turn
I
back?
don't know, man. It's got that symbol.
It's exciting.
Steve said radiation is bad.
Yeah.
I
heard
look
from
down there.
my
Can
favorite
I should be able to
folks.
see radiation with ultravision, right?
Yes, if you look down there with your ultravision, there is a how should I say, a plume of radiation. It's not directed at straight up at the party's faces or anything, but there's clearly a plume of radiation leaking out somewhere down the flight of stairs and forward. It's in the direction that that these vines are going.
Can it be?
And as you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can it be ducked under? I mean, is it halfway up, or is it pointing up?
You could probably duck under it.
Okay.
Those of you who are still standing outside, the boxes with the twinkling lights, you hear a click and a buzz, and the lights had, as you approach them, what looked like a number 1, then 2 dots, then 2 zeros, then 2 dots, and rapidly flickering numbers. The number 1 has disappeared.
Oh shit.
The 2 zeros have become a 5 and a 9.
Do we have to do some kind of intelligence check on this? Is it 5.9, 5.8, 5.7?
It's not going that fast.
Okay.
It's still sitting at 5.9.
Okay.
Maybe we should throw the boxes into the door.
The boxes with the vines coming out of them.
Yes. Then we can close the door.
What do the vines look like? I mean, I know they're colored, but are they plastic? Or are they what do they look like?
They seem that waxy plastic substance that the ancients had. Yes. Any further investigation, and we must open the charts.
Everything goes boom.
Failure on this isn't good, but yeah, whatever. You guys do.
Okay. There are a few switches, buttons, and levers on the boxes.
Oh, good gravy.
Okay.
I really want to press a button, but I don't. Is there a large pole with a handle on it that looks like it pushes down?
No, there is not.
Are there any symbols next to any of the buttons or switches?
No.
Any glyphs? No.
No
It's
glyphs,
just
no
straight
symbol.
up gambling with our lives.
It's just straight. Think of it this way: it's a slot machine, and if you win,
It goes boom.
Well, if you win, it doesn't do anything.
yeah.
That's right.
How far down the stairs do the tendrils go?
They
I
go
mean-
all the way.
Okay.
There's 3 stairs, and then there's a landing that goes off straight ahead. So it's like you're looking down 3 stairs and then straight ahead, and somewhere in the distance you're seeing the faint plume of radiation, and the wires go in that direction. So who's fiddling with the box, please?
I'm gonna try
It's
to pull
too
the door
inviting.
down to where it was.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
It is sticky enough that you can basically put it at any position.
All right, and I'm gonna start looking around, just the area, the stairwell going up, the stairwell going down, and I'm gonna stand to the side of the door.
Okay. Well, there's just the stereo, the stairs stereo, just the stairs that you came down.
Okay, so it doesn't go any further down.
No, it does not. This is
Okay.
where it ends.
Perfect. All right.
So who is messing with the boxes, please? I mean, if you're not, I'm not twisting anybody's arms, but if somebody's going to, you need to let me know who it is.
I'm going to tell everybody to stand clear, like back a bit.
There is a beep, and the 5-9 has become 5-8.
And I'm going to press a button and dive backwards towards them.
Roll a 10-sided die, please.
4.
Okay, the numbers are not moving, but a small glass plate above the numbers is now illuminated, and there are strings of alphanumeric characters. They don't really mean anything to you, but you gonna try again?
Sure.
Roll a d10.
Let's see. Another 4.
Okay, you turn a knob. You see one of the lines of alphanumerics becomes illuminated. The screen blanks, and then there is another set of alphanumerics.
So the initial set's still there, but there's
No,
now
a new
another
set. A new set is there.
A new set.
Mhm.
Ooh.
This is like that game that was popular on Steam where you have to tell the people, like, okay, on one side is what looks like a light bulb. And... All right.
I'll try one more time.
All right, roll it.
I have a feeling I'm going to die. I got an 8.
You got an 8. The alphanumeric text has changed to red, and underneath that flashing is the letter Y with a slash and the letter N and a question mark.
If this is Space Quest, to be YNY, but
Task failed successfully. Exit? Yes, sure.
I guess we'll try one more time then.
All right.
Which one's highlighted? Y or N?
You're not sure.
Oh. I want to see if I can highlight Y. Another 8.
Another 8. No, you can't figure out which control makes it move.
Damn.
Click. 5-7 flashing.
Okay, so this thing's counting down to something.
what kind of timer has an hour?
Right?
Yeah.
So you can think about it.
Yeah. That the little symbol tells me otherwise, but
All right, you want to try again?
Sure.
Put a glass of water in it.
All right.
Hit it with a cylinder. Oh. That's a 9.
Yeah, you're not making the alphanumerics change with
I
whatever.
feel like
you're
we got to
doing
do
there.
something with this simply because what happens if it gets to 0?
Right.
Well, the common result, right?
The common result.
Click 5, 6 flashing.
One more
numbers.
time.
All right.
5.
No change.
Go.
I'm picturing the end of Andromeda Strain. Poor Dr. Hall, like trying to turn the key.
Okay. This is the last time, I promise.
I hope not.
He said, digging in his pocket for another quarter.
Famous last words.
That's a 1. And
Okay.
a dog.
You have gone.
Shit.
It's okay. You have gone back to the menu, not the red one, but the one before that.
Okay.
Click. Was I on
5.
5, 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5-5 now.
Okay, so 5, 5.
One more time.
All right.
4.
You are back at the red menu. Y/N. Doot, 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 doot.
$10.
You've gone back to the different colored menu now, not the red flashing one, and not the first one.
Oh crap! Hush your face, yo. Get over here.
With heightened brain talent, it says artifact determination takes 1/3 the usual time. Would that help in this situation?
Well, Gerg would have to be the one doing
Yeah.
it.
Okay, I was watching Oscar. I mean, would it not give him any indication of what might?
I've got this look of utter confusion on my face as I'm
Gerg is like me trying to adjust my 3D printer settings. Click.
Throws
Damn
his
it.
hands up,
Not that
punches his
menu.
shoulders, and
Click.
hits another button.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll try it, I guess. I mean,
Okay. Now, do you gain a +1?
I don't think so. It just says it takes 1/3 the usual time.
Okay. I will adjust accordingly in clicks.
in clicks.
It just turns things faster.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what. To simulate that, roll 2d10 every time I tell you to roll a die.
Okay.
98.
Am I ready?
Are you ready?
Go for it.
You got-
I got my dice. I got a 1 and a 9. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Oh, 6. Sorry, a 6.
a 1 and a 6.
Yeah.
You get to the red menu. You do not get off of the red menu. It is still yes/no.
Why is my printer printing a countdown?
I'll do it again.
All right. 2d10.
2 and a 7.
Okay. There is now a green menu has come up with a series of selections, and then you rolled a 7,
Yes.
Boom.
and it takes you over to a blue menu. I'm running out of primary colors that can be displayed on monochrome. It takes you over to a blue menu, but you're not sure what that does.
Okay. Do it again.
Click 53.
3 and a 5.
You don't get off the blue menu.
And again.
All right.
A 4 and an 8.
You're not making it. Click 52.
Keep pressing buttons.
All right.
Knobs. 6 and a 7.
Nope.
Man. And again, a 1 and a 7.
All right. First, click, but second,
Boom.
no, not boom. No boom yet. You are at a yellow menu.
It's the banana menu.
Above the alphanumeric choices, in very large, easy to read letters, you know this word is the word caution.
Ooh.
And it's flashing above the menu. You're at 51, by the way.
Keep pressing buttons.
Roll 2d10.
4 and a 10.
A 4 and a 10. Okay. You're at a gray menu. And you decide, okay, well, screw this. And you now go back to the to one of the previous menus that you had gotten to.
Okay.
And
I just
click.
I just turn around and look at everybody like, do I go on?
Anybody else want to try? Anybody have an artifact use bonus?
I don't know. This seems dangerous, guys.
I have a +2. I think that's bad though.
Well, what's your intelligence?
It's 13, but I have that no sensory nerve endings thing.
I have a -2 artifact use mod.
Yeah, that's the better number, I think.
Were you adding those to your die rolls before?
No, I forgot they were there. I have 17 intelligence.
I've got a
You take a moment
to
to breathe deeply and now realize that you can approach this holistically and perhaps get better results than Rocket Raccoon here if you want to try again. From this menu.
I shall try again.
Roll it.
3. It's 5 - 2. 3.
Okay, you are not able to get off of that menu.
Damn it.
Use Smith and Wesson.
I think
That
that
was
would be
the
a bad
exact
idea.
opposite of what we want to do. Another 3. I'm getting aggravated and want to hit it with a canister.
It just you kind of manipulate a couple of buttons and it just beeps and the screen redraws itself and it's the same screen.
Oh, I hit the reset button. Nice.
Gurgle, try again. He's got a -1. I forgot I had dual brain.
Okay.
Dual brain.
Yeah, he's got 2 brains in his head.
The other
Where's the
one's in
second
his
one?
butt.
Yeah,
I'm picturing the HR rat from Dilbert who wrapped liver around his waist.
with my modifiers, I got a 1 and a 6.
Okay. All right. A 1 and a 6. So the screen changes again. And then it changes again. Now it's an amber color. It's kind of like between yellow and orange.
Ooh.
Click 50.
Progress.
A 3 and a 5.
Okay, you're at a green screen and alphanumerics, and underneath is a much friendlier looking Y/N ? But when you get to that screen, you can't figure out how to get off of it. So you want to try one more time?
Sure.
Fingers crossed.
Got a 2 and a 7.
Okay. You flip a couple of switches in sequence, and on screen it draws very slowly, but the words, you don't know what they mean. It just says override accepted. And all of the little numbers stop
Thank the
flickering.
ancients.
All the little numbers stop
Maybe.
flickering and set to 0.
Ooh.
You have successfully activated the reactor bomb.
Oh no.
Yay!
Nice.
So he overrode the countdown? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you want to blow up now? Sure, boss. Fine with me. Screwed around with the menus for like 10 minutes. All right. No, nothing terrible happens. It's just the alphanumeric stop flickering, and the screen just says override accepted. Runtime ended.
Is there still radiation down the hallway?
Yes.
Bird pushes the box away from himself. He don't want to touch it anymore.
Okay.
So
I'd hum the James Bond theme, but I'd get copyright struck for it. So.
The plume down there, does it like reflect off the walls back into the area, or is it something we could by looking at it, something we can maybe avoid being direct beamed?
It's kind of strong. It's kind of strong. It's, you know, I'll duck under the spray of ionizing radiation is a little
okay. Well, I tell them there's radiation down there. So
I mean, with ultravision, it's like somebody's got one of those crazy spotlights that you can plug into your car and you know, shine at the wildlife on the road and hypnotize them, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that I've ever done that, nor do I endorse that. Despite my best attempts in using the most complicated chart with the worst possible outcome, you guys have somehow stopped the box. It is no longer the final countdown. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na.
Guys, you're so smart.
Okay.
I guess we can't go. I can't go into the radiation. Can't duck under the radiation without getting irradiated.
No. I didn't say you couldn't go into the radiation. You can absolutely.
I'm saying I don't. I'm saying we don't want to go into the radiation.
No.
Well, that's another matter.
Yeah.
I mean, we could come out with better mods.
Could die.
I can
Because
become
that's
a
how
mutated
radiation
criminal.
works. You take a dose of radiation, and 2 weeks later, you have a friggin' superpower, right?
Right.
I mean, that's how I became me.
Like, yeah.
Win-win.
Like no sensory nerve endings. Yeah. Yeah.
Or these
Yeah, I vote you go.
gas radioactive eyes.
Like Adam Sandler and Mr. Deeds just sticking a fork in your leg.
You do it, Ricky Bobby.
Well, somebody did this, right? Somebody's doing this.
Yep.
And I assume after the countdown, they would come back because they want something. Or maybe they just did this and ran off because, you know,
they want to
screw
blow
this
the place up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But
Maybe they're just gardening radio.
But hey, I figure we got more than 50 ticks to keep exploring this place without exploding now. Maybe. Unless there's more cores. Is this core 4? Maybe there's more cores that are going to... Didn't you say there was a sign or something? Oh, that was
there was a sign. There was a sign that was auxiliary primary core access number 4.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
And
maybe there's more of these.
To be sure, I mean, you think you would need some kind of protection from it because one does not simply walk into more cores.
Oh, no.
Had to go there.
Still better than Amazon.
Still better Tolkien fan fiction than Amazon Prime.
There you go. Yep.
My Tolkien puns.
What about the other shaft? We could still go further down in that one.
That is true.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep. This is dead end. Literally.
Right, so hike all the way back up the way we came. The death end.
Settled it.
Right. Hey, we avoided it. That's good.
Yes.
So all the way back up to the original shaft? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's basically the last place to go, I think.
On this
Well,
floor,
there's the intersection. Right. Before we get back to the original shaft, there's still the intersection, and there's still
with another shaft.
Two ways that we didn't go. Yeah.
Yeah, we should go that way first on the way back.
Yeah, and then there's the shaft near the. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Break.
And you almost did. Okay, so you've you have climbed back up out of this. And I would point out that whatever moves diagonally through this shaft moves on great gears, because there is a rack, if you know what I mean, from a mechanical standpoint. Basically, it's a fixed spot where gear teeth hold on and turn. There is a rack that goes up the angle into the darkness, and it is greasy, but you could potentially use it like a ladder if you wish to keep going up. But I understand you guys are going back out. But I just wanted to point that out to you guys.
Do we want to go up or do we want to go back out?
That's up to y'all. I'm following.
What do we have any idea what might be attached to those cogs or whatever? Nope. I mean, size. Is it how wide are they apart?
It's pretty big. This.
Yeah, they're a couple of. They're probably 20 millimeters apart, maybe 30 millimeters. So it's fairly big gears that are driving it. And if the size of the landing when you came out of the door that had been pried open is any indication, you would expect that it's probably 3 meters from your right to your left, and then maybe 4 meters across.
Okay.
So it's a few Oscars.
Yeah.
But any idea how far up it goes?
None whatsoever.
Okay.
Beyond your light source. Which at this point, with all your exploring, you're going to have to replenish.
There's grease on those gears.
I'm running out of cloth, though. I have 2 cloths left.
What about your pants?
Do we really want a 9-foot naked dude running around?
Don't point that thing at me.
I didn't say how big
God,
that
it's
was.
bigger than Gerg is.
I just sheepishly smile and be like,
Well, there is the bloodstained tunic back in that room with the skeleton. That makes for more rags.
I forgot to grab the rags off that. Okay, so yeah, grease up another rag, make another torch.
Stop that room before we hit the
before we hit the shaft,
the junction. Yeah.
So we'll head back to the 4-way intersection, and while we're there, we'll go back in the room with the skeleton and rip off its tunic, so we have more rags to make more torches in the future.
And
then I guess there's exactly, and then we still have plant fiber, I think, for bandages. No, we're back at the intersection, and there's 2 ways we didn't go, right? Because we went to the intersection originally, and then we took a left towards the light.
Came down one, took a left on the other one, so there should still be 2 directions.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we see anything interesting down this?
There are actually down this way. There are rooms with glass panels instead of walls. They're
good things
down.
always happen. Good things always happen with glass walls and genetic facilities.
Genetic facilities? Whatever are you talking about?
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Don't be silly.
What's a genetic?
Exactly. All right. So as you approach one of the glass-walled rooms, there's a metal door similar to the others in it. There are rows of tables with unknown objects sitting in the middle of the table. Inside of this, there is an even smaller room, but you don't know what is in it. It is impossible to tell. So we will do a little bit more exploring here. We are almost, I think, at a good stopping spot. Is there anything in the next few anyone wishes to do?
What are these things on the table again?
So what you see in the room, and it's a large room, You've got it's basically I would say it's about 20 meters on a side. Wall facing the hallway is glass, arranged neatly in rows in the middle of the room are tables that seem to have small chambers on them, and there are some kind of connections from the ceiling to the chambers. You can see dark, unmoving shapes in each chamber, and in the middle of this room, in the exact center of it, with all the tables around it, you see what looks like a smaller room, maybe just 2 meters on the long side and a meter on the short side, and it's as tall as the rest of the room, and it's got a door facing you guys on the outside, but you can't see what's in it.
Are there any thoughts in the room besides the groups?
I'm sorry, any what's?
Thoughts? Am I detecting any?
No.
Can we get inside this place?
On the door is a symbol that looks like one of the shields you're carrying. It is a yellow triangle, but rather than like your shield, which has the point going down, this one has the point going up. There is a black line, black outline, and in the middle of it are 3 concentric rings.
I think it's telling me to go in first. It's the same as my shield. Yeah, almost.
Well, by all means, go ahead.
Okay. The door, you notice that on the door, the metal plate that surrounds the handle and it's so faint that it's like you have to be like almost up on it to see it. A faint illumination of blue that's the same shade as one of the blue plaques that you took from the dead body in one of the rooms you just left.
All right,
a
I
small leather pouch.
I point that out to Brun.
Let's collect them. Oh, can we get into them?
Well, I mean, yeah,
Stick
you
your blue
have
plaque
one.
is.
You have
You got the thing, don't you?
Yeah, you have the blue plaque.
So
Put it in.
Yeah, stick it in.
There is no slot, but when you get it close, you hear
proximity.
Thud, 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 thud. And the line turns red and then green.
Oh. Try the door.
Okay. When you open it, there is a loud alarm that starts to go off.
Quickly close it.
Along every hallway now, lowering out of the ceiling, are rotating yellow lights. The alarm is sounding
Oh, we're
everywhere.
so dead, guys.
We are going to leave it there.
What a cliffhanger.
Cliffhangers.
Just exactly what the cursed Earth of Gamma World needed. Another pathogen. So we will pick it up next Friday, gang. Thank you to our audience. Thank you to our participants this evening for poking around where they probably shouldn't have, for our amusement. No, I hope you guys had a great time, and and that your characters can all hold their breath forever. So just if anybody has any questions about the game, you can feel free to drop a comment in the discussion thread underneath this video. And of course, you can always hit us up on the Discord, which, yes, we have a Discord, which is right here. Come and join us on the Discord. We do fun, silly things. We meme and do other fun stuff over on the Discord. So thank you all, gentlemen. Thank you to everyone in our audience, ladies and gentlemen, both. And we'll see you next Friday. I will be back next Monday. This merry band of misfits will be back next Friday to play some more Gamma World. Peace to you all. Have a lovely weekend.
Good night, everybody.